Have you ever gone through a really difficult time where you've thought, oh my gosh, I cannot handle this, I cannot do it? Why me? Why now? And you've got so many why questions, and suddenly you realize that actually you don't have an answer. That's me, right? A few years ago, I received a phone call just about getting home from work, and that phone call changed my life completely. And that phone call was, you know what? We've lost your dad. I found myself asking so many questions. How? Why? Why suddenly? You know, why? And as I was asking the why questions, I did not get an answer. My dad had just died from undiagnosed hypertension and undiagnosed diabetes together. And then exactly a week later, another similar phone call came through. And guess what? It was my father-in-law who had passed away. Almost similar circumstances. And he had passed away from undiagnosed diabetes and hypertension. So imagine what we could have gone through as a family, and imagine the feelings and the thoughts. But what I want you to pay attention to is, for me, when I look back, that was when the Healthtech entrepreneur in me was born. I asked myself so many why questions, to the extent that I started to write a lot of things down. Why was it happening? Why was it happening to us? And how come it was happening? So as I started to write the how questions, it became something that was eating me inside. But that energy that was coming from that thing eating me inside was causing me to take action. And so many years that followed, I continued to pursue this thought, researching what was the causes of diabetes, what was the causes of hypertension, and suddenly why were we having two men passing from the same similar situation, almost a week apart, and suffering almost similar diagnosis. Why? As I was doing my research, it became more clearer that us as Black people, we were more prevalent to suffering from diabetes and hypertension. And actually, it was more clearer that most of the people we walk around, we have this disease in us, or this disease is already existing in our blood and in our genes. And we just don't know that we have it, and we just don't know that we are predisposed to it. So with all these findings, I could not find a resolve within myself. I could not ignore the thoughts. I could not ignore this thing that was eating me away. It did not leave my mind, and I genuinely struggled over the years. It was not until I got seriously sick when I was on a business trip to India, when the light bulb moment happened. You know, and that was an amazing moment, because then all the pieces came together. Literally, I got sick while I was at my hotel, and I had an infection which was causing me to be vomiting and having diarrhea, and I genuinely needed to be admitted. But yet I was so afraid of the hospital, and I didn't know, well, I didn't want to be admitted in a hospital in a country that I don't know, in the systems that I don't understand, and I just got this fear in me. And I remember the manager who was there at the time telling me that, you know what, Funga, you are going to be okay. We're not going to get you admitted, but actually we're going to get the doctors and the team to look after you in the hotel. I said, really? If that's possible, yes, let's go for the option. And within a few hours, my hotel room was turned into a hospital bed. And then I had the nurses, the doctors, the phlebotomist, every professional that needed to look after me, the pharmacy, my medicines, everything coming to the hospital ward, to the hotel room. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. That was the feeling that I felt. And a few days later, I got better. And when it came to my discharge, I remember the doctor saying to me, it's okay, you don't have to worry, because we are going to make sure that all the information that you need is available digitally. And we will share it with you. And when you get to the UK, your doctor can access this information, because you can pass it to them. It was that moment I had this conversation with the doctor that I realized that, oh my gosh, What if I could be the person who went through this situation and difficult moments with my fathers? As I traveled back to the UK, well, I had a long haul flight, and it was during that night that I did not sleep, and ideas kept coming to my head. And those ideas, they kept coming into my head. And suddenly I realized that, oh my gosh, what if I could continue to communicate and connect with my doctor who had looked after me back in India and kept him informed of how I was doing and what was happening with my health? What if I could have a place where I could store my records and I could continue to monitor what's going through me, and he could still be able to access it? And then suddenly another thought came. What if my dad and my father-in-law had been tracking and monitoring their health and using a certain device or something, information that they are inputting, their information, just tracking their health really? Could it be that we could have saved their lives, and probably these diagnoses could have been realized earlier, and probably their lives could have been saved? And so many thoughts and so many things were going through my head, and I was loaded. I was literally loaded. So the following morning, I could not wait to land. And boom, I had to call everyone, telling them about my exciting idea, what had been born through this experience. Everybody in my inner circle who I called and told this idea were like, oh my gosh, Fungai, this is a fantastic idea. This is an idea that could change the way we look at our health. And oh my gosh, that was that moment when Checkup Health was born. And so fast track, many years later, Checkup Health has been able to be launched in Zimbabwe, where we started the remote health monitoring for blood pressure and diabetes, where we work with the communities and with the community leaders to help and make sure that lives are saved by preventative measures. And it's amazing the results that we've been getting, and it's amazing the testimonies that we've been getting. It's amazing what we've been learning. As of today, more than 25,000 users monitor their high blood pressure and their diabetes on the ground in Zimbabwe to date. And I'm so grateful that this idea was born from a difficult situation. So for you, what is your difficult situation? And maybe you could be going through the same thoughts, the same ideas, the same things that I went through, thinking, oh my gosh, why should I be going through this? Why me and why now? And maybe that is going to be your big why for the things that you're going to do in the future. And guess what? That experience now led me to believe and understand that it is better to do the things that we do because we have got a bigger why and a better why we do them. And when we do those things from a place of a bigger why that is bigger than ourselves, then we have got the reason to wake up every morning and want to do that thing over and over again, even when we face the most difficult times. So the question I want to leave with you today is, what is your big why? And maybe you're going to tell me that, Fungai, I don't have that why. I don't know what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. I have not connected with that thing. And my answer would be, can you pursue it and start to dig deeper? Because as you dig deeper into experiences and into the things that you're going through now, probably you are going to be able to connect with that why. So don't forget to watch part 2, because in part 2, I'm going to talk about another why I do what I do. Have a good one. Bye-bye.